The apartment was quiet that evening. The human Daniel had just finished his shower. Warm steam still clung to his skin as he stepped out of the bathroom. He thought he was alone, safe in the small living space he shared with his alien roommate. The door creaked as he walked out, towel forgotten on the hook behind him. He hummed a little tune, enjoying the rare calm. But then, he froze. Across the room, standing near the kitchen table, was his alien roommate. She was small compared to most of her kind, with pale green skin that shimmered faintly under the apartment lights. Her wide golden eyes blinked once, then locked on him. The silence that followed felt heavy, almost crushing. Daniel's face turned red instantly. He moved a hand to cover himself, but it was too late. She had already seen everything. The alien girl didn't scream. She didn't laugh. She didn't even gasp. Instead, her pupils widened, glowing slightly brighter than before. Her lips parted as if to speak, but no sound came out. Her body stiffened, and for a moment Daniel wondered if she was about to faint. I thought you weren't home," Daniel stammered, stepping back toward the bathroom. His voice cracked under the weight of embarrassment. Still, she said nothing. Instead, she tilted her head slightly, studying him with a strange expression. Not anger, not disgust, something far more unsettling. Her hands trembled and her throat worked as if she was trying to form words but couldn't. Daniel quickly grabbed the nearest piece of clothing he could find, a shirt lying on the couch, and pulled it in front of himself. "Look, I'm sorry. I didn't mean this was a mistake." Finally, she spoke. Her voice was soft, almost whispering, and filled with tension. "What is that?" Daniel froze. Her tone wasn't mocking, nor was it teasing. It carried a mix of fear and curiosity, like a child seeing fire for the first time. "What do you mean, what?" he asked carefully. Her glowing eyes dropped lower, then flicked back to his face. Color flooded across her cheeks, a deep violet shade that he had never seen on her before. She quickly looked away, almost ashamed of what she had asked. You shouldn't show that," she muttered. Her words were shaky, as if she had just broken a rule she wasn't supposed to. Daniel felt a cold chill run through him. Why was she reacting this way? Yes, it was embarrassing, but this was far beyond embarrassment. This was something else, something deeper. "Look," he said, trying to laugh it off. "It was an accident. No big deal." But she didn't laugh. She didn't even smile. Instead, she stepped backward, almost stumbling against the table. Her hands gripped the edge as though she needed support. "You don't understand," she whispered. Her voice was trembling now, filled with something Daniel couldn't place. Fear? Awe? Both? Before he could ask more, she turned quickly and walked into her room, shutting the door behind her. The sound of the lock clicking echoed through the silent apartment. Daniel stood there in shock, his heart still racing. He had been embarrassed many times in his life, but never like this. Something about her reaction was too strange. She hadn't looked at him like a roommate who saw something awkward. She had looked at him like he was dangerous or forbidden. He sat down on the couch, still holding the shirt against himself, trying to make sense of it. What had she meant by, "You shouldn't show that"? Why had she looked so shaken? The apartment remained silent, except for the faint hum of the ceiling fan. But behind that locked door, Daniel knew she wasn't just hiding out of embarrassment. She had seen something she recognized, something important. And for the first time since he moved in with his alien roommate, Daniel felt a strange sense of unease. This wasn't just an accident. It was the beginning of something bigger. He didn't know it yet, but that single awkward moment had set something in motion. Something that would change both of their lives forever. The next morning, Daniel expected everything to feel normal again. He told himself it had just been an embarrassing accident. They would both laugh about it later, maybe even forget it ever happened. But when he stepped into the kitchen, he realized things had changed. His alien roommate was already there, sitting stiffly at the table. She wasn't eating. just staring into a small cup of water as if it could give her answers. Her pale green hands trembled slightly, though she tried to hide it by keeping them folded. "Morning," Daniel said carefully. She didn't reply right away. Her golden eyes flickered toward him for only a second, then dropped back to the cup. It was the shortest glance, but Daniel caught it, and in that tiny moment he saw the same strange mix of fear and curiosity from the night before. He tried to act casual. He opened the cupboard, grabbed some cereal, and poured it into a bowl. But the silence pressed down harder with each passing second. Finally, he turned toward her. "About last night," he began. "Don't," she interrupted, her voice sharp but quiet. Daniel blinked. "Don't what?" "Don't speak of it," she said, gripping the edge of the table until her knuckles turned pale. Her reaction sent a shiver down his spine. He set the cereal bowl down and sat across from her. "Look, it was awkward, I get that. But you're acting like I did something wrong." "You did," she whispered. The words hit him harder than he expected. "Wrong? I didn't mean to. It was an accident." She lifted her eyes, and for the first time since last night she looked directly at him. Her golden irises glowed faintly, brighter than usual. "You don't understand, Daniel. What you showed me, what I saw, it is forbidden in my culture." Daniel frowned. "Forbidden? It's just me. Just my body." Her face colored again, the same deep violet blush as before. She glanced away quickly as if even speaking of it was dangerous. "You don't understand. Among my people, what you revealed is sacred, private beyond measure. Not even bonded partners are allowed to see so freely. To look without ritual, without permission, it is unthinkable." Daniel leaned back, confused. "So you're saying, by accident, I broke one of your cultural laws?" "Yes," she whispered, her voice trembling. "And now it cannot be undone." Her words carried weight, heavier than anything he had expected. He wanted to laugh it off, to tell her that cultural rules didn't matter here on Earth in a simple shared apartment. But the way she looked at him, the way her hands shook, told him it was much bigger than that. Daniel stayed quiet, letting her continue. "In my world," she said slowly, "to see someone like that is not only shameful, it means something. It binds us. You are not supposed to belong to me, but now, you do." Daniel's heart skipped a beat. "Wait, what? Belong to you?" Her cheeks darkened again and she looked down at the table. "I did not choose this, you did not choose this. But the bond has been made." Daniel ran a hand through his hair. "That's ridiculous. It was just an accident. It doesn't mean anything." But deep down he wasn't so sure. He noticed her trembling less now. Instead, she sat straighter, as if making the confession had given her strength. Still, her voice shook with every word. "Daniel, I must warn you. If anyone else of my kind learns of this, if they find out what happened, they will not forgive. They will see you as dangerous. They will come for you." Daniel froze. The simple accident from last night suddenly felt far more dangerous. He had thought the worst outcome would be embarrassment, but now she was saying his life could be at risk. "Come for me?" "Why?" he asked carefully. "Because humans are not meant to be bonded this way," she whispered. "And because what I saw proves a secret my people have tried to bury for generations." The room felt colder. Daniel could hear the faint hum of the refrigerator, the ticking of the wall clock, even his own heartbeat pounding faster. He leaned forward. "What secret?" But she shook her head quickly. "Not now. I cannot say. Not yet." He wanted to push, to demand answers, but something in her eyes told him she was already saying more than she should. Instead, she stood, up abruptly, her chair scraping against the floor. "I must go," she muttered, and before he could reply, she slipped out the door, leaving him alone at the table. Daniel sat there, staring at the untouched cereal in front of him. The accident was no longer just embarrassing. It was a mystery, a threat, and a secret that could change everything. And for the first time, Daniel realized his alien roommate wasn't just strange or unusual. She was hiding something far bigger than he could imagine. Whatever it was, he was now a part of it. That night, Daniel couldn't sleep. He tossed and turned on his bed, staring at the ceiling fan spinning slowly above him. His roommate's words kept echoing in his head. "What I saw is forbidden. Now you belong to me. If my people find out, they will come for you." At first it had sounded ridiculous, like some strange alien superstition, but the fear in her golden eyes had been too real to ignore. She wasn't making this up. The apartment was quiet. Too quiet. The usual faint hum of his roommate moving around was missing. Daniel sat up, listening. Her room door was shut, but soft light glowed under it. She hadn't gone to bed either. Curiosity pushed him. Slowly he got up and stepped toward her door. He didn't mean to intrude, but something about her reaction earlier kept nagging at him. He needed answers. Then he heard it. A soft, hurried voice speaking in her alien tongue. He pressed his ear closer to the door. Her words were low and fast, almost panicked. Every few seconds, he caught English mixed into her speech. Discovery. Danger. Human. Daniel's stomach tightened. She wasn't just talking to herself, she was communicating with someone. His heart pounded as he backed away. Whoever she was speaking to, it wasn't good. Minutes later, her voice fell silent. Then the light under the door went out. Daniel returned to his room, but sleep stayed far away. The next morning, she avoided him completely. She slipped out of the apartment early, leaving no sound behind. When Daniel checked the table, he saw something unusual, her small communicator device. She never went anywhere without it. His hands shook as he picked it up. Should he check? Should he respect her privacy? He hesitated, then tapped the small screen. A single glowing message appeared in her language, but auto-translation flickered across. He is not supposed to be seen. If what you claim is true, then he is a danger. Watch him closely. Report again. Daniel's blood ran cold. She had told someone. She had described what she saw, and whoever was on the other end, they believed he was dangerous. His mind spun with questions. Why would his body mean danger? Why would seeing him like that matter so much? What secret had she stumbled on? The door suddenly opened behind him. He spun around, communicator still in his hand. She stood in the doorway, frozen, her eyes widening when she saw him holding the device. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then, with a speed that startled him, she rushed forward and snatched it from his grip. "You shouldn't have seen that," she whispered, her voice trembling. Daniel swallowed hard. "And I wasn't supposed to be seen last night either, remember? But it happened. Now I need answers." Her lips pressed into a thin line. She shook her head, but her hands trembled as she clutched the communicator to her chest. "If you know too much, they will not just come for me, they will come for you. And when they come, you will not survive." Daniel stepped closer. "Then tell me, why does it matter so much? What secret are you hiding from me?" Her golden eyes darted to the window as if expecting shadows outside. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "My people teach that humans are weak, that you are soft, fragile, unable to endure what we can. But what I saw, what your body showed me, proves that is a lie. Your kind is stronger than they admit. Stronger in ways that terrify them." Daniel blinked. "Stronger? Just because you saw me naked?" She blushed deeply, but her gaze didn't waver this time. "It's not the sight. It's the truth it revealed. Your kind carries power inside you that ours does not. And if they learn I saw it, if they learn you carry it, they will not stop until you are taken." Daniel's chest tightened. What she was saying sounded impossible, but the raw fear in her eyes was real. He rubbed his forehead, trying to think. "So because of one accident, your people now see me as dangerous?" "Yes," she whispered. And once they decide that nothing can protect you. A heavy silence filled the room. Daniel felt the walls of the apartment closing in. Just a few days ago, life had been simple. He had a job, a routine, and an alien roommate who kept to herself. Now, everything had changed. Finally, he spoke. You said last night that I belong to you. What does that mean? Her eyes widened again, and for a moment she looked almost vulnerable. It means you are under my protection now. If they come, I must stand in their way. That is the bond. Daniel stared at her, stunned. He wanted to laugh, to deny it, to call it absurd. But deep inside, a strange feeling grew, something between fear and trust. The accident had bound them together. Whether he liked it or not, he was part of her secret now, and he knew this was only the beginning. Daniel sat on the couch, still trying to process everything. His alien roommate paced the room back and forth, her small hands clenched tight, her golden eyes glowing faintly with tension. The silence between them was heavy, but both of them knew it couldn't last forever. Finally, she stopped and faced him. Her voice was soft but carried a weight he hadn't heard before. You don't understand, Daniel. The bond is real now. Whether you wanted it or not, it is there. Daniel leaned forward, his elbows resting on his knees. You keep saying, that bond. What does it even mean? You say I belong to you, but you also say I'm in danger. How can both things be true? She swallowed hard, her violet blush returning, because the bond is not about ownership. It is about responsibility. The moment I saw you like that, the moment my eyes took in what I should never have seen, I became tied to you. If you die, I will be shamed forever. If you are taken, my life is broken. Your fate is now mine. Daniel blinked, speechless. The words were almost too heavy to believe. She stepped closer, her voice trembling. Do you understand now why I cannot let anyone else know? Do you understand why I reacted the way I did? Daniel nodded slowly. So what you're saying is, last night wasn't just awkward. It was the start of something your people take deadly serious. Her shoulders slumped. Yes. The room fell silent again. Daniel rubbed the back of his neck, unsure how to respond. He hadn't asked for any of this. He hadn't wanted to drag her into trouble, and yet here they were. Two mismatched roommates suddenly tied together by an accident neither could undo. But then he looked at her, and something shifted inside him. For the first time, he didn't just see her as an alien girl he shared space with. He saw someone scared, vulnerable, but standing bravely anyway. Someone willing to face her entire species if it meant protecting him. Okay, he said finally. His voice was steadier than he felt. If I'm part of this now, then I need to know what we're up against. You said your people might come for me. Why? What are they so afraid of? Her golden eyes softened, almost sad. She sat across from him, folding her hands together. Because what you carry is a reminder of the one thing my people could never control. Humans are unpredictable. You adapt where we cannot. You survive where we fail. That is why they spread lies, telling us you are weak. But I saw the truth last night. And if they know I saw it, they will fear you. Fear always leads to destruction. Daniel exhaled slowly. He didn't feel powerful. He didn't feel dangerous. He felt like an ordinary man who just happened to get stuck in a very awkward situation. But the way she spoke made it sound like his existence itself was a threat to an entire species. He shook his head. So what do we do now? Her lips parted, but no words came out. She looked at him for a long moment before whispering, Now, I stay close to you, I keep you safe. That is what the bond demands. Daniel blinked. Stay close to me? Like, how close? Her cheeks flushed deep violet again, and she looked away. As close as needed. If danger comes, I must be by your side, day and night. The meaning of her words sank in, and Daniel's heart skipped. Living with a roommate had already been strange enough, but now she was saying she had to guard him. Constantly. The awkwardness of last night suddenly felt like only the beginning. Before he could respond, a sound broke through the tense silence. A faint beep coming from her communicator. Her eyes widened and she snatched it up quickly. She pressed a button, and a distorted voice crackled through. Daniel couldn't understand the alien words, but he caught the tone. It was harsh, commanding. She responded quickly, her voice firm, though her hands trembled. When the transmission ended, she shut the device off and looked at him with wide eyes. "They are searching," she whispered. "They know something happened. They are scanning this sector for traces." Daniel's stomach dropped. "You mean they're already looking for me?" She nodded. "Yes. And if they find you, it will not matter that it was an accident. They will take you, they will break you, and they will silence me." Daniel stood, his heart racing. "Then we can't." "Stay here." Her eyes met his, glowing fiercely now. "No, we can't." For a long moment they just stared at each other, fear and determination mingling in the air. And then Daniel realized the truth. Whether he wanted this bond or not, he wasn't alone anymore. She would fight for him. She would risk everything to protect him. And that meant one thing. The bond might be strange, unwanted, even terrifying. But it was also the one thing that might save his life. The night outside was restless. Cold wind pushed against the apartment windows, making them rattle softly. Inside, Daniel sat across from his alien roommate, his heart heavy with questions. She had said too much already, but not enough to satisfy. His fear. He needed answers. "You keep telling me I'm in danger," Daniel said, his voice low but steady. "But danger from what? From who? What are they really hiding from me?" His roommate's golden eyes flickered nervously. She hugged her knees close to her chest, sitting on the edge of the couch like a cornered animal. "You are not ready for the truth," she whispered. Daniel shook his head. "Maybe I'm not. But I can't survive if I don't understand what's coming. You said I belong to you now. If that's true, then you owe me the truth." Her lips trembled. But slowly, she nodded. She took a deep breath, her glowing eyes dimming as if weighed down by a secret too heavy to carry alone. "Long ago," she began softly, "my people discovered humans. We studied you from far away. We called you weak. Soft creatures of flesh and emotion. That was the story they told us, but the story was a lie." Daniel leaned closer, his heartbeat quickening. She continued, her voice shaking. "The truth is, humans carry something my people could never replicate. Resilience. Strength born from suffering. Power hidden in your bodies that awakens only when tested. My leaders feared it. They feared what would happen if the galaxy saw humans for what they really are." Daniel frowned. "And what exactly did you see last night that proved this?" Her cheeks flushed a deep violet. She looked away, ashamed. "Your body revealed it. The design of your kind. What you carry inside you is more than nature's accident. It is strength, life force. My people call it the spark of endurance. To us it is forbidden to even look upon it, because it reminds us of what we lost. We were shaped long ago to be perfect, but perfect things do not adapt. Humans do." Daniel sat in silence, her words cutting deeper with every breath. He had never thought of himself as special. He had always been ordinary, yet here she was, trembling as if one glance at him had confirmed a secret her entire species feared. "So you're saying," Daniel said slowly, "that humans are stronger than your people admit, and just seeing me, like that, was enough proof?" "Yes." Her voice cracked. "If the others discover I saw it, they will kill me for breaking the rule. If they discover you, they will capture you, to use you, to study you, to make sure no one else learns the truth." Daniel's stomach turned cold. He rubbed his temples, trying to steady himself. "All this over one accident?" She gave a bitter laugh, though it sounded more like a sob. "Accidents change destinies, Daniel. That is the law of the galaxy. You stumbled into a secret my people have guarded for centuries. The room grew still again. Daniel could hear only the faint buzz of the old ceiling light. He wanted to argue, to deny it, but he couldn't. Deep down, he felt the weight of her words pressing on him. Finally, he asked, "Why are you helping me then? If it puts you at risk, why not just hand me over and be done with it?" Her golden eyes lifted to meet his. For the first time, they didn't hold fear. They held something gentler. Because the bond does not lie. Once it formed, your survival became mine. But more than that. She hesitated, then whispered, "I don't want to see you destroyed, not you." Daniel's chest tightened at her words. He didn't know what to say. He had never asked for her protection, never wanted to drag her into this. And yet here, she was ready to stand against her people for him. The air shifted. A sudden sharp beep came from her communicator. She jumped, grabbing it quickly. Her eyes scanned the glowing message before she slammed it shut with trembling hands. "What is it?" Daniel asked. Her voice was barely audible. "They are close. They have traced the bond." Daniel's blood ran cold. "Traced us?" "Yes," she said, her eyes wide with panic. "The moment the bond formed, a mark was left. They can feel it. They are hunting now." Daniel stood, his pulse racing. "Then we have to move. We can't just sit here and wait for them." Her hands shook as she reached for a small pack she kept hidden under the couch. She pulled out a few glowing crystals, strange metal tools, and a cloak. "I was hoping it wouldn't come to this. But if they find us here, neither of us will live to see the morning." Daniel clenched his fists. The forbidden knowledge he had just heard now felt like a curse pressing on his chest. He had wanted answers, but answers brought only fear. Still, one thing was clear. The quiet life he once had was gone. The accident had pulled him into something far larger, and there was no going back. He looked at his alien roommate, her small frame, her trembling hands, her fierce golden eyes. For the first time he understood. This was no longer just about him. Their fates were tied together, and the galaxy itself might be waiting to tear them apart. The apartment felt colder that night. The shadows on the walls seemed longer, and every small sound echoed like a warning. Daniel paced back and forth, his chest heavy with unease. His alien roommate sat near the window, clutching her communicator tightly as if it might save them from what was coming. "They know where we are," Daniel said, breaking the silence. His voice was firm, but fear hid beneath it. She nodded, slowly. "Not exactly. They cannot see us yet, but they are searching. Every time the bond glows, they get closer. They can feel it, like a heartbeat in the dark." Daniel's stomach tightened. "Then what do we do? Just wait here until they knock down the door?" Her golden eyes glowed faintly in the dim light. "We hide. We move. We survive. But we must be careful. If they catch us, they will not ask questions. They will simply take you." Daniel clenched his fists. He wasn't used to being hunted. The idea that strangers, aliens stronger than him, were out there right now closing in on their building made his skin crawl. He turned toward her. "Why don't you run? Why stay here with me? If you cut me loose, they'll stop chasing you." Her eyes widened at the thought, then narrowed with sharp determination. "No, the bond does not allow it. I told you before. You are mine now. If they take you, they take me. If you die, I die with you. There is no freedom for me without you." Daniel swallowed hard. Her words weren't comforting, but they filled him with a strange sense of strength. He wasn't alone, not anymore. Suddenly, a faint hum filled the air. It wasn't the refrigerator or the ceiling fan, it was deeper, like an engine far away but drawing closer. Daniel froze, listening. She stood quickly, pressing her back against the wall. "They are here." Daniel's pulse raced. "Already?" "Yes," she whispered. "Do not move. Do not make a sound." The hum grew louder, vibrating through the floor. Then came the flicker of strange lights outside the window, shifting colors of red and blue, unnatural and cold. Daniel crouched beside her, peeking through the blinds. His breath caught. Hovering in the night sky was a sleek black vessel, triangular in shape, with glowing lines across its surface. It moved slowly, scanning the streets below with beams of shimmering light. Daniel's heart hammered in his chest. They're actually here. She grabbed his wrist tightly, her hands shaking. Do not speak. If they hear, if they sense us, it is over. The vessel drifted closer, its lights sweeping across the buildings. For a terrifying moment, the beam passed directly over their window. The glass glowed faintly as the scan touched. It. Daniel held his breath, afraid even the sound of air leaving his lungs would give them away. Then, as quickly as it came, the beam shifted, sliding to the next building. The hum slowly began to fade as the vessel moved further down the street. Daniel let out a shaky breath, his whole body trembling. That was too close. His roommate didn't answer. She was still gripping his wrist, her golden eyes wide, her chest rising and falling quickly. When she finally let go, she whispered, "This is only the beginning. They will not stop until they find you." Daniel rubbed his forehead, his mind spinning. Why me? Why not just capture any human? Why risk so much just for one accident? She shook her head. Because it was not just an accident. The bond makes you more than just human. To them, you are proof. You are danger. They will not rest until you are silenced. Daniel's throat went dry. He didn't want to be special. He didn't want to be proof of anything. But reality didn't care. The hum outside grew faint, fading into the night. But the danger remained heavy in the air, like smoke after a fire. He looked at her again, studying her trembling form. Despite her fear, she had stood by him, protected him, even when she could have abandoned him. "We can't stay here," Daniel said firmly. "If they're scanning buildings, sooner or later they'll come back." Her lips pressed into a thin line and she nodded. "Then we run. But if we run, there is no turning back. Once we leave this place, you will never have the life you had before." Daniel glanced around at the small apartment, the couch, the table, the walls that had once felt safe. Now they felt like a cage, a trap waiting to close in. He exhaled slowly. Then it's already gone. That life ended the moment the accident happened. Her eyes softened, but fear still lingered in them. "You speak truth. Then come. We must go before they return." She reached for his hand again, gripping it tightly as if afraid he might vanish if she let go. And in that moment, Daniel realized something. This wasn't just about survival anymore. This was about the bond, about her refusing to leave him, about him refusing to let her face it alone. Outside, the night seemed calm again, but Daniel knew the danger wasn't gone. It was only waiting. And somewhere in the darkness, unseen eyes were still watching. The night air outside the apartment was sharp and cold. Daniel carried only a small bag, while his alien roommate walked beside him with her communicator pressed close to her chest. The city around them looked quiet, but he knew danger was hiding in the silence. Every shadow felt alive. Every sound made Daniel's heart jump. They had escaped the first search, but she had warned him. The hunters would not stop until they had him. "Where are we going?" Daniel whispered as they turned down a narrow alley. "Somewhere safe," she replied quickly. "But safety will not last forever. When they find us again, we must fight." Daniel frowned. "Fight? How? They have ships, weapons. We have nothing." Her golden eyes flashed. "We have the bond. Do not forget that." Daniel still didn't fully understand what the bond meant, but he could feel it. Every time she touched him, every time her eyes locked on his, a strange energy passed through him. It wasn't something he could explain, but it made him stronger. It made him believe he wasn't alone. They moved quickly through the dark streets, until they reached an old storage building at the edge of town. She pushed the door open and they stepped inside. The air smelled of rust and dust. Broken crates and metal scraps filled the corners. "This will hide us for now," she whispered. Daniel dropped his bag and sat on a crate, running a hand through his hair. "I still don't get it," he said. "Why is this happening to me? To us?" All because of one mistake. Her small frame trembled as she sat across from him. It was not a mistake. It was destiny. The bond does not form by accident. Maybe it feels sudden, but it chose us. And now we must choose too. Run, forever, or stand. Daniel stared at her. The idea of fighting against her people terrified him, but the thought of running forever, hiding like prey, was worse. If we fight, we'll die. She leaned forward, her voice steady despite her shaking hands. If we run, we'll die anyway. But if we fight, we might live. Before Daniel could answer, a deep hum filled the air outside. His blood turned to ice. They've found us, she whispered, her golden eyes wide with fear. Daniel's chest tightened. Already? Yes. The bond glows too brightly now. They cannot ignore it. The hum grew louder, and then a blast of light tore through the side of the building. Dust and metal rained down as a dark ship hovered outside, its scanners locking onto them. Daniel shielded his face from the debris. His heart pounded so hard it hurt. What do we do? She stood in front of him, her small body trembling, but her voice was fierce. Stay behind me. Daniel's jaw dropped. What? No. You can't. But before he could finish, the hunters appeared. Tall alien figures stepped into the building, their glowing weapons raised. Their voices were sharp and cold. Human, one of them barked. You are coming with us. Daniel froze. His whole body wanted to run, but his roommate stepped forward. Instead, no, she said firmly. He belongs to me. The bond is mine. The hunters laughed, a cruel sound that echoed through the broken walls. You dare claim him? You break our laws and now you shield a danger to us all? Her voice didn't shake this time. Yes, I dare. The hunters raised their weapons. Daniel's instinct screamed at him to grab her and run, but she spread, her arms wide, standing between him and the danger. Something inside Daniel snapped. He couldn't let her face this alone. He stepped forward, placing his hand on her shoulder. A strange warmth surged through him, stronger than before. Her eyes widened and she whispered, The bond. It awakens. The hunters fired. Blinding light filled the building, but instead of pain, Daniel felt energy explode outward from where his hand touched her. A shimmering shield spread across them, deflecting the attack. The hunters staggered, back shocked. Daniel stared at his hands, glowing faintly with the same golden light as her eyes. What is this? He whispered. She smiled weakly. The proof they feared. The power of your kind awakened by the bond. The hunters recovered quickly, aiming again. But this time, Daniel didn't freeze. He stepped forward, raising his hand, and another surge of light burst from his palm. The force knocked the hunters back, scattering their weapons. The building shook with the power, and for the first time the hunters looked afraid. This isn't possible, one of them growled, retreating toward the ship. Humans are weak. Daniel's voice was calm, but filled with strength he never knew he had. Not anymore. The hunters scrambled back into their vessel, and within seconds, the dark ship rose into the night sky and vanished. The silence that followed was heavy, but different, no longer filled with fear, but with relief. Daniel dropped to his knees, gasping for breath. His hands still glowed faintly, but the energy slowly faded. He looked at his roommate, who knelt beside him, her golden eyes shining with pride and something softer. You chose to stand, she whispered. Daniel gave a shaky laugh. I didn't really have a choice, did I? Her lips curved into a small smile. No, but now, neither of us are alone. Daniel looked around at the wrecked building, the glowing dust settling in the air. He didn't know what tomorrow would bring. More hunters, more danger, maybe even worse. But one thing was clear. The awkward accident that started it all had changed everything. He wasn't just a human anymore. He was proof. He was bonded. And together, with her by his side, he was ready to face whatever the galaxy threw at them next.